Hey, happy Aloha Friday, first Aloha Friday of the new year. So excited to be back. Um, Wanted to let you guys know some of the things that we're talking about in science this week. And so I know the new year is in a time where a lot of people kind of reflect on New Year's resolutions and, really trying to make themselves a better person. In science, what we've kind of been talking about is this idea of results oriented versus process oriented. And I'm much more of a process oriented type of person. And so the way I describe this to students is um, instead of developing, these goals or resolutions, I think it's much better that we focus on actions. And so the example I used was, I'm sure there are all of my students want to get better grades. They want to be good students. But instead of having like the goal of getting better grades, I think it's helpful for them to ask themselves the question, what is it that a good student does? What kind of process does makes a good student? And what does that look like? That's a lot more concrete for my students to grab onto. And so we talked about things like a good student will complete their work and submit their work into Canvas. A good student will use their class time productively. A good student will be organized and not procrastinate and avoid distractions and those kinds of things. And then if we make those actions part of our routine, we'll be a good student. And so, instead of kind of thinking about where we want to be, thinking about, the actions or what kind of things we need to do in order to get us there. So it's kind of a fake it till you make it kind of attitude, and to act like the person we want to be, and then we will be that person. And so that's kind of what we've been talking about this week in science. There's a lot of important dates that are coming up in February. And so it's kind of a rapid fire kind of time. And so I'm going to put those important dates into that important date section of this post. Just wanted to point out that one is that's going to kind of kick all of that off is the parent information night on February 1st at the high school. And so we're going to be starting high school scheduling in February. And I know it can be kind of like drinking from a fire hose because there's going to be a lot of information. And so I really encourage all parents to attend the parent information night. Bring your kids. There's just a lot of information on there and gives you an opportunity to kind of learn about the schedule, early college, honors programs, and a lot of those types of things that are available at the high school. I'll kind of start to kind of feed you that information so you can have access to it. Please take the time to look at those kinds of things. Center Grove High School is just full of so many wonderful opportunities, and it's really a great time for kids to explore a lot of different vocational pathways and different things like that, as well as academic pathways. And so, it is just a great opportunity. And so often I hear from parents that I didn't even know that was available and those kinds of things, as their kids are juniors or seniors. And so to try to get yourself kind of aware of what's available as early as possible is really a good thing. Okay, so as far as what's happening in class, so this week in science came back, started right into the water cycle, did kind of a quick review of some physical changes of matter, like the changes of states of matter. So that would be like, um, a solid, liquid, gas, and like what the molecules are doing. Plan is to take a vocabulary quiz today. That'll be the first assessment grade for this spring semester. Students will have 3 attempts on that quiz. So they really should start the new 9 weeks with a good science grade with those 3 attempts. Next week, I plan on doing a couple labs, cloud in a cup and some other things, and some other web-based type of activities. But the test for that won't be until after Martin Luther King Day, so towards about the 3rd week in January. In biology, we've come back and we're doing cell reproduction. And so started off with kind of a quick review of mitosis, so PMAT, prophase, anaphase, telophase. Um, and that's a review of what was done in 7th grade. We did go into a little bit more depth than they did in 7th grade. And have a fun activity next week where we're using beads to simulate, different genes and things like that. And we'll then jump into meiosis and sexual reproduction. So that's kind of what's happening in class. As just happy to be back. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please do not hesitate to contact me via either email or, as always, you can comment down here below in Parent Square. And as a reminder, I'm the only one who can see that. So feel free to share comments on there as needed. So thank you so much for everything you do as caregivers. See you next week.